Hello and welcome. I'm your host Elizibar, and so we're going to do the disclosure thing at the very beginning here. The creator of this book sent me a message on Facebook, gave me these PDFs, and was like, yo, read these. Let's see what you think. So here I am. I've read them. I think that was about 2 weeks ago he messaged me, so I've been a little slow on the draw here, and for that, I apologize. In my defense, it's been a busy 2 weeks. So Sister Mercy, like at first glance at the cover, let's zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole thing. It looks like something that's inspired by 90s bad girl type stuff. Think Lady Death. And also, like Warrior Nun, whatever that Antarctic Press series was. I'm blanking on the name. They made a Netflix show out of that, which, watch that. That was actually kind of okay. Anyway, that's what this looks like at first glance. I'm going to zoom back in so I can kind of control the view a little bit more. There's some very risque, naughty stuff in here. When he says it's rated R, they really mean it. In fact, probably if you put some of the contents in this book on the big screen, there's like one or two panels they would have to. Well, no, I mean they let Watchmen get away with some stuff, didn't they? So maybe they'd get away with it here. I don't know. Let's scroll down. We'll just get past this. Here's like some background stuff. I didn't read any of this, but I did want to show that right there so you could see, hey, here are the people that worked on the book. My general impression was I kind of had fun reading it. Yeah, great impression. That tells you, the viewer, a whole lot, doesn't it? So the general plot line, and we need to like go left to center this. Okay. The general plot line is there's this girl and her mom. They live in this old church, and then one day something happens that kind of breaks everything up. So here she is. They're living in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Think like this is Mad Max, man. You got deserts, biker gangs. There's at least one like motor gang, okay? Maybe there's not an actual biker gang, so there's at least one motor gang out there with a tank even. And you can see like honestly, it doesn't look like that bad of a life. I mean, for a post-apocalyptic wasteland, you got what looks like a kind of comfy bed. You got a roof over your head. Like you're already doing pretty good here. Looks pretty happy. I mean, she seems pretty satisfied with her existence just from that little like smile. I like the pose. That's a very natural kind of yawning position. Like that looks fine. Uh I think all the things that I kind of have quibbles with in the art are due to the compression on the PDF, so I'm not going to talk about that because if I look around at some of this stuff, I see a lot of compression artifacts, and they kind of really annoy me. Like if you look, it looks a little grainy here, and I'm pretty sure that's just the PDF. Like you can see the artifacts around her wristing here, the artifacting. There we go, around the wrist. So I'm not going to harp too much on that. Uh, I think the art is fine through the whole book. There's a backup story in issue 3. I think it was issue 3. Kind of a little side story. And the art there is, I think, like a half step down from what the art is in the rest of the material. But even then, it was still fine. Okay, having said that, let's keep scrolling here. So she wakes up. She starts going about her life. Hi, Mom. She talks to voices in her head. She believes she's kind of like Joan of Arc. Like she thinks those voices are divinely inspired. Her mom thinks those voices are the kid's crazy because the kid had, and somewhere in the origin story for the kid, like a building fell on her. You know. She's also got this spear over here, which she found in like a store when she was a kid, and like went right for it. So here's like a day in the life. She knows she has enough time to get back to the well and back before the storm is upon them. She doesn't rush until she hears something other than the blowing wind and sand. No! Actually, I kind of like that facial expression. It's not symmetrical, which, bold choice. Like, I like it. The headlights are barely discernible in the distance, but the sound of their engines carried ahead of the storm. Vroom, vroom. I've been better with two different sound effects there, but whatevs. Let's scroll down. And this is like a big picture, so I scrolled over to the side here. Check it out, man. See, I told you there was a tank, didn't I? Very Mad Max, right? You got like crazy combat cars. You got people decorating things with skulls. You got a giant crucifix here with chains on it. Like, yeah, we're pretty Mad Max. I think that's all I'm going to show you out of this issue. There's a confrontation. Stuff happens. This dude fella here kind of factors into it. She shows up in the next issue. And speaking of, let's go to the next issue. And I got to be real careful here. I can't show you the cover of the PDF that I got sent. But you can kind of see like her living situation here, waking up in the lighthouse before she sets out on her journey. There's a lot of naughty stuff in here, man. 210. She's on her journey, and I like this. Going around, she's just like investigating some wreckage. There's a cross hanging there. She takes it as a good sign, and the voice in her head right there, the direction does not matter. With me, you are never lost. But she's got that little crucifix. She's going to take it with her. She's looking pretty good. Like for somebody whose mom, well, for whom things just happened, and now she has to set out on a journey, she's looking pretty good. See, I also want to go to 213. I think that shows off the town. Yeah, so you can kind of see like what the like main civilization looks like here. Oh, you know what? Back in issue 1, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go show you pictures of it because I don't have a page number written down and I don't want to accidentally show too much of the book. There's totally this priest dude that gets out of one of the cars, and when he's first shown the cross on his fancy hat, I forget the name of it, is inverted, and then it shows up being right side up in other places. I suspect it's supposed to be inverted the whole time. And I suspect it's probably to tell us that this guy is evil, which that's not what an inverted cross actually means, but, you know, whatever. That's what people seem to think it means. It actually is just an homage to St. Peter, who was crucified upside down by Nero because he didn't want to be crucified right side up, the same way that Christ got crucified. So he's like, I'm not worthy of that. Do it upside down, bro. And so that's how he went out. That'd be a pretty bad way to go. And, oh yeah, there's the priest guy right there. And there's some guard dudes here. Like, check them out. Like, I dig them, man. They look pretty cool. So yeah, we learned more about the town. The girl sets out on her journey. That kind of stuff. Now, I will show you this cover here because I thought this was pretty cool. Like, standing on the truck. Honestly, I know this book has nothing to do with Noctera except for post-apocalyptic trucks, but I saw this and I was like, yeah, you know, they could have made like a Noctera cover just like this, except probably without the nunnery type image. Let's see, I wanted to jump to page 4 here. And just kind of showing like what their civilization in this little town is, man. It's either the Colosseum or they've rebuilt the Colosseum, whichever. And people are out there partying, you know, bread and circuses. In fact, this guy calls that out. Like, oh, it's not on this page. There's another page here somewhere where, or another panel where he's like, the Romans called this bread and circuses, and he just like explains like the whole evil plan. Typical bad guy, and I guess he's like the head evil bad guy or something. I mean, he certainly like looks like the head man, right? Like he's and evil because he's wearing like all black and he's got like the little claw hands here. Like look at this man, claw hands, claw hands. I'm reaching for that one. I want to show page 7. They apparently like have green goo that turns people into like undead zombies, which factors into the book because our heroine runs into some undead zombies. In fact, I'm going to jump to page 14. She's run into like a trucker, and she's like, hey, there's someone in the street. He's like, that's not a someone, darling. Splat! That's a speed bump. So she battles like some undead zombies. They encounter some other people. There's lots of good adventure-y stuff. So all in all, this whole series, like these 3 issues, I had a pretty good time reading them. I'm not really sure where the story is supposed to go, but it sure seems pretty interesting. I don't think I'd ever heard of this until that message on Facebook. So this is all kind of like new to me. Like I don't know the people involved. I don't know the books. I don't know anything. So I came into this totally blind, and I was left with a pretty good impression. It's definitely like some stuff that uh, R rating is appropriate. You know, you NC-17 maybe, like, that's the kind of material we're talking about here. In places, I didn't show you any of the bad stuff because it's YouTube. I can't show you the stuff that would get me banned off of here. Otherwise, I would kind of get banned. But you can take it from me. There's some Ghibli bits hanging out. There's this is a pretty nasty kill. But there's some stuff in here that's maybe a little grosser than that, including one particularly like gross thing in the second issue, which totally not showing you. You'll have to take my word for it. So if you're into sort of a post-apocalyptic story that has some zombie-like creatures in it, whether they're actually dead or not, I'm not sure. And you're looking for something with a weird nun aesthetic, like, this is the book for you. As it is, this is just kind of a fun book, and I can yes, uh, think that maybe this might be your jam. It's some pretty cool stuff. Honestly, and I'm gonna say a completely different statement here that I think kind of harmonizes with what I was trying to say. This feels kind of crazy, like some manga do. If you've ever read, I don't know, what's a good example? Battle Angel Alita. You know how the story takes like some really weird turns as the story progresses, and sometimes like you get some imagery that you may not have been expecting, or Ghost in the Shell, where you start out doing one thing and by the end of the story you've done something completely different. Things like that. That kind of feels like how this story is going. Is it's unfettered. It has that freedom to go be a little bit weird, be a little unusual, do its own thing. It's kind of bold. There's other books out there that are kind of doing the same thing. Rags does that to a great extent. It is an unfettered story. It just kind of does whatever the creator wants. So this book is in good company. Whether it's as good, like if I had to give this a numerical rating, I'm not sure what I would give it. I literally just read this right before talking about it, so I'm not quite sure everything I think about it. But I do know that I had a good time reading it. Complete with a couple grimaces like, ugh, and a couple of oh yeahs, like, oh, yeah, you kind of deserve that one. Those kind of moments in a story. Good times. You all take care of yourselves. You have a great day. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will look and see if the creator gave me like a URL or something so I can get you like a link to where you can go find out more about this, and I'll try to remember very hard to put that in the description below so you can click that link over there and check it out. Until next time, take care of yourselves, all that good stuff, and bye-bye.